Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? This is Kevin Sack doing another segment of Victory Sundays. And on Victory Sundays, I like to talk about football, basketball, and even hockey. Because if you know anything about me, I love sports. And this is my opportunity to give y'all the most raw and uncut filtered version of me. And if you've been living under a rock lately, I actually didn't talk about this last week. That's because I actually just wanted to get some more details and to see what was going on. But the Detroit Lions released Torian Arnold. I hope I'm saying that name correctly, but they released Torian Arnold and his role in a kidnapping that took place, I believe, on February 3rd. And pretty much what occurred was just like some people, which allegedly happened, was like some people stole some things from his Airbnb, or I think he was at an Airbnb, and some stuff got missing. And so like he pretty much set it up to where like they just they he got a few shorties just to set them up, and then they pretty much robbed them, duct tape them and all that stuff, and just questioning them. And so pretty much what occurred was with that was just like over the time period, like there was an investigation, and then he was eventually arrested for it. And then and then the initial arrest, he wasn't given any bail, but then recently he was actually given bond, where it's like some certain stipulations he got to abide by, such as training and stuff like that. He only could leave out the state for those purposes, even for like the Detroit Lions. But like I said, the Detroit Lions released him. So I'm just giving y'all my 2 cents on it. So in my opinion, like from what I've heard, Torian Arnold is a good kid, man. Like the reason why he got released on bail was just because like Nick Saban's wife actually vouched for him, and Nick Saban himself vouched for him just for him to get released on bail. And it seemed like he just got caught up in a bad situation. But my advice to him is like I know like a lot of people like, yo, you got it and stuff like that, and it shouldn't hurt you that much. It do. It's still like it's the principle. Like we still have feelings. Like even though I got the same money as he do, but still it's that mutual understanding. Like just because you got it don't mean like you feel like it's cool for people just to take it from you, just get it back. Sometimes there is some sort of emotions to getting certain things that you never know how hard he worked for getting some things and he really wanted it. So I understand where he's coming from. But at the end of the day, man, you gotta like at this time period, you gotta make wiser decisions. You gotta be around wiser people just because like in these situations you losing it all. Like you got the opportunity to make millions of dollars, and now you fighting for your life just to not go to jail for a significant amount of jail time. And so that's just my 2 cents on it. I hope the best out of this situation for this young fella because, like I said, it seems like he's a good kid, man. On to another note, on a somber note. Last week, if you've been living on rock lately, unfortunately, Chris Johnson actually revealed that he has ALS. And from what I've heard, like ALS is like a disease, like where for one it's uncurable, and then two is like your mind is working, but your body can't work, and it really attacks the body. And like from this case, like Chris Johnson, like he talked about his diagnosis only was like a year, and now a year later, like it's just sad, man. Like that shit is sad. Like you, like this to see like how he only can like initially like when you look in the video, you hearing his voice, but you thinking he talking. But then when you actually look at the video, you're not seeing him move, and it's actually the computer talking for him. And this is that shit is sad, man. Like ALS is no joke, man. They saying like from the reports, they saying football players possibly have a 2 times higher risk of getting it, and I hope that's not the case, man. But it's hard for me to do this video talking about that just because it's like, man, you just wish the best of luck for Chris Johnson and his family, man, because you don't want to see that shit, man. And I'm not saying it in a negative way, but prayers to Chris Johnson, man. That's all I'm gonna say. But on to another note. If you've been living in rock lately, a lot of news been going on with the NBA. So I'm just give y'all some quick insider, not necessarily insider news. Just my quick opinions on some trades and stuff like that. So one of the first few trades was the Kawhi Leonard trade. I know they traded him for some draft picks and Brandon Ingram and I think Grady Dick. On Kawhi's side, you gotta like it because he get to play with some young bulls and really like Toronto didn't give up a lot to get Kawhi. So you got to think about it. Like as far as like player wise, like Brandon Ingram and Grady Dick and maybe another player, but you still kept that core with Scotty Barnes, uh, dude that played with Zion, Barrett, and Quinley. So you still got a good young core there. So you're not really losing out on a lot. You actually basically replacing uh Kawhi Leonard for uh for Brandon Ingram. So fair trade for them and some draft picks. And for the Clippers, man, they're getting younger, so like them draft picks to them is like big for them and vital for them. So I think I like the trade for both sides. That's an even fair trade. On to another team. I am a former Lakers fan now. I was a Lakers fan, but now I ain't feeling it after LeBron left. You know what I'm saying? Like they kept me holding on. But yeah, like I was saying, the Lakers they actually picked up the dude from the Jazz. I forgot his name. Walker Kessler or something like that. And they actually signed him to like I think it's like 4 year, 130 million contract. He was a restricted free agent, so they actually ended up trading him for like four draft picks, which is like a crazy deal because what I heard was Walker Kessler didn't even play last year, and Luka been saying he wanted an A tier, center, and I guess this was his A tier center, and like they've been they've been wanting Walker Kessler for a minute, but my opinion, like you. Did you overreach on? Him? Nah, not really for the money, but for the draft picks, you basically mortgage your future. And they're not as athletic. I'm gonna just keep it as that. But on to another trade. Ja Morant was traded to the Portland Trail Blazers. I actually just seen this earlier today. Actually Memphis actually gave him extra million for the trade, and Memphis received Jeremy Grant and some dude named Moore. Um, personally, I know Memphis is trying to get Ja off their book, so we ain't even gonna talk about that. And they already had draft picks from Jared Jackson and Barnes or whatever. So like pretty much they won't look they ain't really in need too much. And on to the Portland side for John Morant. Off the court, I love the fit. Like you get to be around Dame, you a Nike athlete, so you in Portland, Oregon is where the headquarters for Nike at. So the off the court fit is perfect, and you get to be like I said, you get to be around a veteran like Dame, so you get that mentorship, and you not in a big city where you could get yourself in a lot of trouble. On the court, I really don't like the fit. I'm gonna be straightforward, honest with y'all. Like you got 4 point guards, like being real. Like I see Drew Holiday fin with them well, but they talking about possibly trading him. Then you got Scoot Henderson, who's a young boy trying to get his money. His I'm pretty sure his rookie contract coming up. Then you got Dan, who's coming off an Achilles injury. Where's the defense at if you get rid of Drew? Then you got some other wings like Danny Avia. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And you got Shannon Sharp. So on the court, I don't like the fit. It's just I don't see it fitting too well. Just because like them guys gonna need the ball. So who's gonna have the ball in their hand? You wanna go with a 3 guard lineup? Well, look at the size. Like none of them dudes are big, bulky guards outside of Drew Holiday. But if they're gonna trade him, then you really don't have a fit. Um, so yeah, that's just my 2 cents on that. On to the last trade. Damn, Boston, y'all got fleeced, man. Y'all was hating on that man Jalen Brown for so much, and y'all really traded him for pennies on a dollar. Because if you look at the trade, y'all, like I was saying, Jalen Brown was traded to the Philadelphia 76ers for playoff P. Paul George, 2 first rounds and 2 second round draft picks. Now this guy was a Finals MVP and in the running for the MVP, and y'all traded him for that. Paul George is 36 years old. Jalen Brown is 29 years old. So he traded an older guy for a younger guy. That shit don't make no sense. Now, from the reports, they were saying like they didn't like his attitude. They think he was too smart. But what is too smart, man? Like the dude's just opinionated, and he's a very highly opinionated person. If he make you feel uncomfortable, then get comfortable with being uncomfortable, Boston. Like that's just who he is. Like, he provided y'all with some of y'all best years. I know y'all got a storied organization, but I'm talking about since the 2000s. Like this is probably been some of y'all best years. Y'all getting rid of this man for pennies on the dollar. Come on now, make sense of that. It don't make sense. Like I don't like the trade. I don't like what Boston doing, and I don't like the slander that they giving to that man Jalen Brown. Just because you're a highly educated black man doesn't mean that like you're incompetent of being an effective man in your organization. And I'm just leave it as that, y'all. I ain't gonna talk too much more about that. Y'all just hear that sound bad. And with all that is being said, this is Kim the Sites, and I'm out this bitch.